Hello, everybody. I'm getting situated here. There we go. Okay. Technology, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Hi, it's Natalie from Creative Makers. I am so happy to have you here. We're at the home of Bonnie Lambert. Here's Bonnie.
Hello.
And we are entertained by her kitty. I don't hear kitties.
Pippa.
Pippa. I know you're used to seeing my cats in my lap. Now we're going to get Bonnie's in hers. Anyway, so, oh, somebody wants to be in the video. I'm going to approve. Approve. Send invite. Okay, there you go. All right. Anyway, so I guess we're going to start.
I guess we
Yeah.
started.
As you guys might know by now, I do these things every week in hopes that you get some information out of me talking to people about their art and about how they started and what's going on with them. So this is not going to be any exception to this rule. So we're going to go on from here. So hi, Bonnie.
Hi, Natalie.
I'm so happy to
Hi,
see
Natalie.
you. I know. Oh,
Yeah.
COVID's been rough.
We've sort of been putting this off,
I
to
know.
hope the Omicron would
I
fade.
know.
And here we are.
I know. I'm so glad. I'm
Me
so
too.
happy to see you.
Me too.
I so miss. We used to paint together all the time, and I'm so.
Once a week.
Yeah, I so miss that.
I do too.
Ugh, sucks. Anyway, all right. So let's talk about you.
Okay, what do you want to know?
Well, you know what I always start with is I want to know, were you a creative kid?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Tell me about how that manifested for you.
Oh, I mean, I just have a memory of being in nursery school and having the teacher say, Bonnie, you've got to share. You have to share.
Share what?
The easel, the paints, it was like, get away, this is mine. And I just always remember my mother she was trained, she went to college. She was an older mother, and she was just a great mother, reading to us. She read, at breakfast in the morning, and we wanted to dress up, and she'd get dresses out of the closet. We wanted to draw, she'd get the crayons out.
Oh, wow.
So she was really supportive.
She was invested.
She was creative and invested, and yeah.
So your first memories of art then were just drawing?
Yeah, drawing, painting. But I wanted to be an actress. That was my thing. I was the youngest child, and that's what I wanted to be. And even when I went to college to train to be an actress, I took an extra credit thing, an art class. I was like a junior or something in college, and the teacher said to me, you should really quit the theater department and be an artist. I said, you're crazy.
That is quite a bold statement for a teacher to actually tell you to quit something.
Quit. And I was a junior. And I said, no, I'm not going to do that.
All right. So back up for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a kid, you're creative, you're drawing and you're painting.
Yeah.
And you wanted to act, and
Yeah.
and this sort of just all stayed in line with you, but focus on acting all the way up until you got to college. So this was just playing out the whole time.
I mean, a couple times we had this career day in high school. What do you want to be? And I said a lawyer, because I thought that.
You thought that was the right answer?
That was the right answer. It was intellectual and serious. I couldn't say actor. That just seemed too frivolous and impossible. So I said lawyer, but that didn't last very long. So
that was quite the opposite choice.
I know. I guess I thought I'd make my parents happy saying that.
And were they happy when you said that?
I don't remember. I was, but yeah, I think they just wanted me to do what I wanted to do, but learn to type. My father.
Right.
Have to work a cash register. We took that class too, my sister and I. But they just wanted me to be happy, which was. I guess they thought, because I was a kid in the 50s and 60s, that I'd get married.
Right, and then it would be over.
There would be no problem. But that didn't happen.
Well, you did get married.
I did, but not the way that they thought I would.
Okay, so now you're in college.
Yeah.
You're focusing on getting, I assume, a BA in acting?
A BFA.
A BFA
in
acting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was heaven. I mean, I've been thinking about that lately. Just to do what I love to do, and I'd never acted before that, but I knew I could. And here I was starting down the line of being an actress, And I'd never done it before because in high school, they always had me doing the sets.
Oh,
Painting scenery, designing scenery. And I wanted to act, but they wouldn't let me. I was too good at doing the sets. So I went to college and started taking the classes, and it was just heaven. It was fantastic.
my mom has this crazy adage for women that says, know how to do everything, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And I sort of see this in this moment, know how to do everything, but don't tell anybody, because then as soon as they figure out that you're good at it, you get pigeonholed.
Yeah, and I did costumes too, everything except be on the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I knew, it's a funny thing, I knew I could do it. I knew that I would just be great at it. And so I went down that path.
So did you find that you were really good at it? I mean, because by the time you got to college, you had to do stuff.
Yeah, well, we started slow. And I think it was not knowing the rules, not having been grooved in high school doing, high school plays and all that. It just started fresh, natural. And by the time I was a senior, I was getting all the big parts. And it was fantastic. I was sort of the star, a big fish in a very, very, very tiny pond. But and I knew I could do it. It was fantastic.
That's nice when you have that sort of knowing behind you,
Yeah, just like crazy, unfounded confidence that I could do
it. Everybody should have that somewhere.
Yeah.
I bet everybody does. I just don't I don't know where
they. I think you lose it too, when so getting out of school, I mean, that's a whole different, now you gotta, what am I gonna do?
Right, so how did you parlay that? You got out of school and here you are, I'm an actress.
Yeah. I auditioned poorly. I auditioned poorly, but I said, well, I'm going to keep going to school. So I got a scholarship to go to the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis to work towards an MFA. And I started down that road for about 3 months and realized, no. I was like starting all over again. And it just, so one of my best teachers in undergraduate had trained at a theater called Hedgerow Theater in Philadelphia. It was like the first repertory theater in the country from like the 20s.
Were you in Philadelphia at this point?
No, I didn't even know where Philadelphia was.
Where were you?
I was in Wisconsin.
Oh, you were in Wisconsin.
I
okay.
grew up just south of Milwaukee. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee for undergraduate, and then I was in Minneapolis.
Okay, so you were east.
Yeah.
East compared to this. Yeah. East Midwest.
I didn't even know where Philadelphia was. So I wrote a letter to this Hedgerow Theater and said, I'm coming. I want a job. I want a place to
roll out those red carpets.
Here she comes. And I think back on it, I think, oh my God. But I had to look up where they were. I was terrified. The night before I got on the plane, I was like throwing up. I just was, what have I done? What have I done? So I got there, and it was in this beautiful little valley, Rose Valley, just outside of Philadelphia. They gave me a list of homes that people might accept, give me a room or something. And I walked down the road and knocked on doors and found a home, in this mansion. The woman would rent me a studio with a garage, and started taking classes and met more people, and heard that there was this upstart theater company in Philadelphia they were looking for new members. It was like a democratic theater company. And I said, okay, I suck at auditioning, so I'm going to take classes there and show them what I can do. So I took classes for like a month, and they called me up and they said, we're looking for a woman. We're going to audition 2 women, you and this other person. And the whole company is going to sit in, and they're going to decide democratically who
Oh my God, nerve-wracking.
Yeah, but I felt pretty good about it. So I auditioned, and they gave me a couple exercises and things to do. And my husband was a member of that company. And it turned out, then I went to Grotowski was also performing, in Philadelphia, and I went to a performance that night. And afterwards, the artistic director came up and said, we'd like to work with you. Would you like to join? But I found out that all the company wanted me except the guy who was to become my husband. He didn't want me because he knew the other woman, you know. And so now I say to myself, I'm going to marry this guy and make his life hell.
Wait a minute. There's just so much here. Okay.
I know.
All right. So, okay. First of all, I want to know, why do you think that you were bad at auditioning? Were you really bad at
I think I
auditioning?
was really bad at it. Nerves.
Was it just lack of practice?
Yeah.
Just you didn't get out there enough to do it over and over
it's
again?
my gripe about theater schools. We didn't learn about the business of theater. We learned how to act, how to build sets and stuff, but nobody taught us. Now this is make a good audition piece. Let's have a class in audition. This is business and how to promote yourself. No. This is a good resume photo. So I didn't really know how to do it.
Ugh.
So I thought, well, just take a class and we'll see how brilliant I am. And ultimately, that's what happened.
All right. So, but then Jim, her husband,
My husband.
is the person that didn't want you.
No, and that says something about him, because the other woman auditioned was a woman he had gone to school with. He went to Temple. He got a theater degree from Temple University.
So was he voting for her because he knew her? Oh, Jim.
I know. I never let him forget that. Yeah, and I was better.
And wait a minute. And did you really think in that moment, I'm going to marry this guy? And
Oh, no,
this is just you being funny.
Was,
I was like, wow,
horrible.
what foresight.
No, I'm sending that from the future. Oh my God, this guy. But
Here, I'm pushing this back a little bit. Sorry, everybody. Hold on. I'm just trying to get you more there.
Yeah. So I thought he was kind of a creep.
Kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jim. You're a jerk.
Sorry, Jim. I know. But yeah. So, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was a great experience. We lived together. We practically cleaned toilets. There were about 6, 7.
Wait a minute. Who is the we that we're talking about now?
Oh, the whole company.
Oh, okay.
And now there's some of my best friends, and that's why I moved to California ultimately, because they moved out here. But we did a show co-produced with Joe Papp of the New York Shakespeare Festival, and Kevin Bacon was our apprentice. He was like 17 at the time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah,
Do you ever play that game?
Here. Yes, of course. We're like, the center of Europe with that. But it was fantastic. And then our building got torn down, and we became like a touring company, and people moved away. Just all sorts of stuff.
So, okay. So you get to work with this group.
Yeah.
You're really excited.
Yeah.
You're meeting Jim, obviously.
Yeah.
And something must have come of that, because obviously here's Jim.
Well, every actor also had a job, and Jim was the business manager, and I became like the box office manager. So we were working on the finances together.
And then he grew to love you.
Yeah, and vice versa, I guess.
Despite his big faux pas.
Yes. Huge. Never to be forgotten.
You know what? I don't blame you. I think I would use that one against Dave any day.
You know too. So when you meet Jim, you can say,
Jim. Just shake your head. All right. So, okay. So now, you've done all this work, and are you actually performing a lot? Are you getting paid? What's going on?
That was an important thing, that we had to get a living wage, with that, and it was a pretty slim living wage sometimes. But we were touring and getting paid.
You're touring as a group, and you're doing these productions.
With Shakespeare, we do Shakespeare in the schools,
Oh, okay.
Events, and then the bicentennial happened, and this guy, Pizak, who owned Mrs. Paul's Fish Cakes, he opened this.
So random.
He opened this museum right on the Independence Mall, and it was like a living history museum. So we hired our company to be the living part. I mean, he brought in Conestoga wagons, and we would, a tour group would come along, and a woman would come out and talk about what it was like to cross the prairie, or a Durham boat, and somebody would pop up and talk about how it was to, travel with Washington.
These are fun, interactive things,
It was really, really fun. But before, when the audience came in, we'd have a song fest, and lead them in song. It was great. And that lasted like a year and a half. And it was
cool.
Pretty good wage. It was like a real constant living wage. So, it's great.
So, okay, at this point, you're still living in the Midwest, and you're touring.
Well, no, we're in Philadelphia.
Oh, you're in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're in Philadelphia and you're touring. And then how did you get here? I mean, where's the leap between acting and painting again?
Okay, this takes a while.
It takes a while. Take your time.
So the bicentennial was over. The museum closed, people dispersed. And Jim and I, we got into the antique business for a while, because in Philadelphia, we could find Chippendale mirrors in the trash. We did that for a while. And then but one year we said, oh, we've got to get back in the theater. It's great, but. So we wrote a proposal to do plays in Independence Park, which they did every summer, plays out in the park. So we wrote this proposal to do a show about Dolly Madison, because she lived in Philadelphia. It was a big thing. Well, we got that. Jim wrote me a one-woman show, and I ended up doing like 2,000 performances of it. Yeah, in the park, toured the schools in the fall and the winter, and around the country, around the Northeast. I did a show for Reagan at the White House.
Oh my God.
And then from 81 until like 87, we did a series of historical plays. We'd put together proposals and go out, get funding from corporations. In the summer, we would do them in the park. And in the winter, we would tour them. And we did that, till like 87.
I can't believe I've known you. I mean, it hasn't been that long that I've known you, but I mean, it's been like probably almost 10 years or something.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's just part of the whole journey,
This is why interviewing is exciting. Okay.
So okay.
All right. So you did 2,000 performances.
And then we did, hundreds of performances about Charles Wilson Peele and Benjamin Franklin,
and Jim wrote you all these things?
He wrote all of them and would bring in, we had a friend who came out to California and became like a really big writer, and he would come back to direct some things. And, then we would tour them the rest of the year, and it was just fantastic. Just fantastic. So exciting. Dolly Madison was a life changer for me, because it took me about 200 performances to realize how to do it. And that was to pretend that every show was new, and that the audience was my other actor, to listen to them, to talk to them, And then it came alive for me. I think I really sucked for that time, because I was kind of walking through it and rushing through it. So anyway.
That makes sense to me, though. I mean, even as a musician, you play the same songs over and over and over again. You've got to find a way to make them exciting.
Absolutely. And that's to play the mind trick of forgetting that you've ever done it before. This is the first time. Well, it is for the audience, And that was like life-changing for me. It was about, just being present. So what happened then? Oh, theater dissolved, in transition. What the heck do we do now? A lot of friends had moved out here, so we came to visit, and we really liked it. And they turned on the charm of LA, showed us all the spots. So we back in '85, we bought the first Mac, because we were always doing proposals. Our typewriter broke, and we said we can either, buy a typewriter, or we can just hop into this new technology. So we bought a Mac and just we just loved it, So I started teaching myself to be a graphic designer. I thought I could do that too. Oh my God. So we moved out. We went out here to visit friends, loved it. Went back to Philly, decided to move here, but then Jim's mother was sick, and so we stayed for a couple more years while I learned graphic design, got some jobs. Oh, I did, they were like ransom notes, my first things, so many typefaces, horrible. So then after Jim's mom passed away, we gave it like another year, helping to get all that stuff together. And we just packed up everything, moved out here, just moved out here. And that was rough, because Jim immediately got into technology. He hooked up with AFI, started taking classes, and then started teaching, because he really gets this technology thing. But I was just lost, just like completely lost. I think I had like a nervous breakdown, I couldn't connect with myself, what did I want to do? What did I really want to do? What was I passionate about? So a friend of mine gave me a copy of The Artist's Way, a Julie Cameron book.
This has come up in other interviews too.
Oh, it was like, a man in the desert getting,
Drink of water.
Yeah, drink of ice cold water. And I started doing, the exercises and stuff and realized, get back into the drawing, get back into the art. So I took some classes, night classes at the Art Center in Pasadena.
Arts, just for you, those of you that don't know, Art Center and Design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're a big school here in Southern California. They
Yeah.
produce like lots of kids that design cars.
Cars, yes.
A lot of
thing.
big car design thing.
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of big time artists go there.
Right.
It's a major school.
Yeah, it is a major school. Met some great people, got some good starts, basic drawing, face drawing, painting, the basics of painting, basis. Then that was done, and I started to try to paint on my own, and I realized I didn't know how to paint. I was doing what my teachers wanted me to do, but
You hadn't developed your own style.
I couldn't hear my own voice, So I kept drawing, and since I was an actress, I loved people, so I did this project, a face, take a photo of a face a day of someone I came in contact with, and then draw them.
So this was your own project that you made up for yourself.
Yeah, because I love the drawing.
I think this is such a great idea when you give yourself like these projects to do.
Or I'd rip things out of the paper, people, sports figures with in pain and stress and that, to practice extreme emotions. And I love that. I was filling a book with those. And I'd had this long synchronistic trail of meeting people who introduced me to somebody else, which came down to a hairdresser who said, I've got this friend Kiki, and she's taking these painting workshops.
Kiki. Yeah.
She's taking these and it's all about portraits, and you'd be great doing this. I said, oh, that sounds like fun. Well, I didn't do it for a year because I was scared. So, and
this is refreshing to hear. I mean, but the thing is, when you say I didn't do it for a year, you didn't make up any excuses. You're just like, I was just scared. This is all about owning it. I love this.
Or it was such a huge. I mean, when I think back of the leaps I've taken in my life, this was a little half step, but it was just seemed too big for me. So let's see what happened. Oh, so my husband Jim and I, the famous Jim, who didn't want me.
Right.
Because
the Jim.
You know the story. We went on the art walk in
was it
the
Highland Park one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they still had it.
Right.
I miss it like crazy. But so, and Margaret's studio was open, and Kiki was showing all of her work on a wall, and there was Margaret, and I walked in and just like almost fell over.
Just to give you some more information, because these people don't know what we're talking about here. Margaret Garcia is actually both of our mentor.
Yeah.
Is our mentor.
Yeah.
And she's a high key colorist, working mostly in. I mean, she always works in oils, but I mean, I know she did some printing and stuff, and she has a studio near us, and she has classes that we
like a workshop once a week. We go and she'd have a model, or she'd put some fruit down or some flowers.
And she's a museum quality artist. Yeah. Anyway, okay, continue. Sorry.
So I said, okay, now enough of this. With the new year, beginning January of 2009, I'm going to go. So I went, and gosh, I couldn't stop. And there was something about the way Margaret teaches. It's not, you've got to do it this way, but she just brought out my voice. The colors I loved, and the way she taught, and she was so kind and sympathetic. She could be rough too, she could tell it like it is, but it was always with helping to drag you along, to help to bring your voice out of you. So I was, went every week religiously. I still have my first 2 paintings. And everybody was great. Everybody was vulnerable and making mistakes. We were all doing that together. It didn't feel competitive. There was nobody competing. So in 2011, she gave me my solo show. And I remember she called me and said, "You're going to do this. It's going to be in 6 months. I want you to fill the walls. get started, choose your music.
Gosh.
And I thought, just do it, you know.
I think this is where I might have met you.
I think it was. Yeah.
In one of those instances, but
Yeah.
it happened to be at our studio, and there were like several artists that were being
Right. It
shown.
was like a group show.
But you had a big portion
Yeah.
there, and Dave and I were just knocked out.
I remember you came
Yeah.
with your biking group,
Yeah.
right? You had
Yeah.
shorts on and all that.
Yeah,
I feel like I've known you longer than that.
I know, I feel the same.
So
But
she
yeah.
gave me a solo show. I worked my butt off, and I didn't sell a lot, but to have the walls filled and people came, some family even flew in from Philadelphia.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It was fantastic. So I just kept painting and trying to learn, you know, then how to market myself, for God's sakes. You know, that was another whole thing. But just trying to work at it and get better. And Jim was saying, well, now it's time to apply to museums and stuff. I was like, no. And I'm glad I didn't listen to him, because it wasn't ready. You know, I just have to develop it. So that's basically the story. You know, so I've been doing it showing for like 11 years, and full-time artist since like 18. You know, just not doing. I was doing a lot of graphic design early on, but now I don't do that anymore.
Let's talk about then how, I know a lot of people that watch this are interested in like trying to turn what they do into something that will make them some money.
Yeah.
How did you make that turn into the entrepreneurial side of it?
I think it's a matter of it's stuff happening. You know, it's not it's just stuff happening. You find your tribe of people, you know, you're selling a little bit, you hold these people close, you know, you contact them. And I've told you about this Red Dot blog with this Jason Horsch, and he has something called Art Biz Academy,
right?
Which it's like a 6-month, really concentrated course. I can't recommend it highly enough. You know, I think it was like $39 a month, something. You get homework, and he responds personally.
If I can, I'll get you guys the link on this so that if you guys want to try this out, participate,
he's like,
and I'll post it later.
He has a couple galleries outside
in Arizona,
yeah. And he's
really good.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's just sharing. You know, it's just, in fact, if you could interview him, he's just
that's
fantastic.
That's an idea right there.
He's just transparent about how to do these things, and if you go to this Red Dot blog, he archives all of it. I mean, he's got years of questions that he responds to about people. It's very helpful.
So is that where you learned how to maintain a website, how to post? I mean, I don't know about maintaining necessarily, but how to post and how to maybe, I don't know, reach people.
I think the most valuable things with how to research galleries and museums and opportunities that are right for you. You know, he was good about that. And then calls for artists too. There are various sites, like 3 or 4, that have calls for artists nationally. And
I've posted some of that.
Yeah.
There's a couple of places
that
do that.
You have to be careful with that because everybody charges.
I know.
And that starts to feel kind of scammy after a while.
I agree.
But if you're really focused and targeted, you know, I don't try to pay any more than like $25, and I rarely do calls for artists. But you know, if you really target it, I've gotten into some good shows and sold some pieces. You know, so let's see.
I remember talking to you about this like earlier, you know, a few years back. And you were like, you have to spend the time on the business.
You really do.
And I think this was a big realization for you and for me at that moment in time.
He also taught me how to archive my work, how to inventory my work. Everything has an inventory number, and how to, you know, how to do that so that you know where all the pieces are. I know who bought it, when, their names, their mailing addresses, you know, that's all taken care of, so that I contact people, you know, I had sent out handwritten Christmas cards, you know, and MailChimp is great too. I mean, I'm starting to do more of that. When I finish new paintings, I put them out there. I think it's just a matter of finding your tribe, you know, slowly as people buy, they become part of your tribe, and then keeping them close, keeping them real close. I've met this woman too who sort of became my agent, and she found alternate opportunities like movie theaters.
Oh, right.
Oh my gosh, at ArcLights. Oh, those have been the best opportunities. Of course, I think they're out of business now, and yeah. But I was showing in ArcLights all the time. In one show, a guy came in and bought 6 paintings. I'll take that and that and that and that and that. You know, yeah.
Wow.
And I've kept people. You know, I keep in contact, and they come back and they buy more. They buy more. So
well, if they love you, they love you, and they love what you do.
Well, you know, just finding the people that they get it. You know, they get your vision and they stick with it, and they have collections. And you start with friends and family, really. I mean, all my friends and family have pieces. You know,
of course,
they're
of course we do.
Yes, you do.
Of course we do.
You, yes. And in this time, because I lost a couple of big shows in 2020 because, you know, everything shut down. So I realized there are more online galleries now, and I'm on 4 of them. And I think a couple of them was really a vetting process. You know, you put your work on and say, we'll get back to you in a few months, you know, after we've checked you out. And those are good. They take 50%. I think one takes 30%, the others take 50%, what you expect. But it's like an international thing, you know. And at times I sell, but then there's big drought periods when I don't, you know. And then my website, I get commissions on my website, you know, I've gotten a few commissions. But I love your animals that you've been painting.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Yeah, but
great.
people love their kids.
They do. Yeah.
So, tell me about your day. I know that you're pretty strict with the way you treat your painting and your business for that matter. Tell me about how your days are structured.
Well, I like to paint ideally 2.5, 4 hours a day if I can. A lot of times that doesn't happen. You know.
But you paint every day.
I do. Yeah, I paint every day, usually in the afternoon. You know, and as the days get longer, the light's better. And I'm working on 3 paintings now, but I can work up to 6. And if I'm doing small ones for the holidays, I think I was doing 10, you know.
Yeah.
Coat of paint,
right.
Put it aside, look at it. I mean, I like to sort of stand back and look and say, is this going in the right direction? Is this, and it takes me a while to see, too. I like to establish, I guess that's why I don't particularly like being a plein air painter, because I use my own reference photos, which I take in Photoshop, and, you know, push the brilliance, push the color and the saturation. But then it's like, what am I seeing? What is this? What's that colored? Why is that there? And what's the laws of nature that I'm seeing in this painting? You know, light and shadow and all that stuff. And it takes me a while to get, you know, and I make a lot of mistakes and experiment with colors and discover new colors. And that's why I like to have a lot of paintings, so I can, you know, work on one while the others are drying, but then I'm always looking at it saying, So I like to work like that. Lately, I've been doing a lot of detail, and I've tried to, is this the right direction for me, rather than.
Right, because your paintings are loose and free and full of color.
Yeah.
And I would never describe them as tight, but I also wouldn't, they're not abstract at all.
They're not, but they're not photorealistic
No.
either. But I'm sort of walking a fine line between getting more realistic or pushing the realism and keeping the looseness at the same time. And part of that is, I should be loose, I should have bigger brush strokes. But at the same time, I always have to keep taking my temperature. But what do I like to do? You know, what feels juicy and, you know, fun?
I love that thought, though. I'm taking my own temperature.
Yeah.
I'm checking in all the time.
Yeah.
I think that's an easy thing to forget about.
Because it's my vision. You know,
right.
For years as a graphic designer, it was somebody else's vision, but this is mine now. You know?
One of the things that I've been talking about lately in the group is is about having other things in place that helps you keep all of this going. And
Huh.
so like I've been talking about the 3 Ps.
Yes. Tell me
Physical, personal, and professional.
go. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know, I mean, I don't know that you knowingly do these and you know, I've got the 3 Ps in place, but I know that you do just as a natural part, because I know that physical movement is really important to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you are personally, you know, involved in lots of stuff. You have a lot of friends.
Yeah. Good family.
And professionally, I mean, you're doing all the work here. Can you talk about maybe a little bit about all of those? Like, what do you do personally or physically?
Yeah, I like to stay active. You know, I like to be. I've had some medical issues that I just keep powering through, or trying to get a new perspective on getting older. You know, getting older is it's like a shock. You know,
Yeah.
it's a real shock. But and during this lockdown, I used to take gyrokinesis classes, which is sort of like a yoga for dancers. I mean, I'm not a dancer, but it's about the spine and the core and staying flexible and all that. But we can do it on Zoom now, and I've started to sign up to get a video of the classes, so I can do it almost every day.
Oh, that's
And
nice.
being really religious about that's hard, because I can tend to let everything happen at the end of the day. Oh, I'm out of time.
Oops.
Whoops, how did that happen? But then I have my dog too, and he'll walk him, and I try to. So that's, and I like nature. I mean, that's what fills me up. I think the sun and the flowers and the sky and the tree and the air quality in California. It's just so beautiful. That's the basis, I think, for what I do. Just the joy and the beauty of the world,
Yeah.
the natural beauty of the world. So I like being outside. Personal, I think if I had my druthers, I'd be a total loner. You know,
Yeah. I
I'd be a
feel
total
you.
loner. And this lockdown thing has really, I pulled way back, and this is what it feels like now.
Feels really good.
Feels really good.
I know.
But now it's opening up again, and I've got to go out and meet and greet again.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
friends, you know, touching base with friends slowly. I'm okay. I can talk to people. I can be social again. And it's funny, when I was an actress, personally, I felt very self-conscious. I felt more confident being in a character. I could do anything in a character.
I think this is pretty normal for like actors and actresses. You know, putting on somebody else's identity is much easier than being yourself.
I know I was asked a couple times to talk about it, and I was like, I guess it was like auditioning. But now that I'm an artist and I'm confident in my voice, or at least how to access that voice, here I am. You know, this is fun. You know, I can talk about myself, and it's good. You know, and I feel confident about that, and you know, it's just me.
Yeah.
It's just me. It's a big relief.
Yeah. Do you have like, I don't know, a game plan that you follow?
I think it's just keep painting for one thing. Just paint, because I'm like Margaret was telling me the other day. Oh, you're painting because you want to catch up. You started kind of late, and I thought about that, and no, I paint because I have to. You know, I've been doing it pretty regularly for like 11 years now, and I'm still like a kid with it. I'm still passionate and discovering something all the time. So I think that's my game plan. And now that we're sort of coming out of this pandemic, and I'm feeling better after all this health craziness, I'm starting to reach out a little bit more, be a little bit, you're doing more MailChimp things. And I know I want to researching more galleries, you know, and be a little bolder with approaching galleries and trying to get the work out there. But that's not really that important to me. I just want to do the work. You know, I want to see where that leads me. And I think everything else will kind of branch off. If I'm open to the opportunities, it'll branch off.
I think that's very, very true. I mean, you follow your muse, so to speak. You ask the question, you ask, get curious about something, and then you never know where it's going to lead you.
Never do. And then looking back over my life, you know, it was just a matter of, oh, that looks fun. You know, it's just about being curious, you know. And then saying, okay, I'm going to give up control. You know, you can't control everything. Just sort of let, you know, the universe, just give it up.
Yeah.
And things fall into place, you know, and to do it with joy too. Not like I'm going to give up, but I'm going to wear my helmet. You know, you just.
Well, what does my friend always say? You're always gripping so tightly to get something, and then when you give up, you open up your hands, and now you're in the position to receive. Right?
And while you're doing this, things are flying by you because your hands aren't open.
Right, exactly. You can't catch anything with closed hands and with gripping so tightly.
Yeah.
But you open your hands and you give up, and it just falls right in.
But it's a funny way. It's not giving up. It's accepting everything. You know?
Well, you're giving up your control. That's what it is.
Oh my God!
Right.
Yeah. And what's that control? Fear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me about. I don't want to take too much more of your time up, but tell me. Let's try and close it on this. Tell me about something else maybe you want to explore. Is there something else that you want to explore? I mean, I'm guessing that there's a million things you want to explore, maybe. Or maybe something you want to get better at, or maybe something you're curious about. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to travel again, you know.
Yeah.
I guess I just want to keep painting. I want to take more risks. I mean, I'm starting to photograph some sort of darker subject matters, you know, that more story oriented, you know.
Right.
But I want to keep my health. I want to keep my strength. I want to, you know, just keep painting, be more open, be there for my friends and my family. I want to not be angry at people I think are idiots. You know, I think that's big because there is some scary shit happening, you know, and I want to. Everybody has their own path, their own journey, their own life that led them to where they are. And I just want to accept that without, just be present. And I think that's my big goal, is to just be more conscious, to be more present, you know, not to worry about what's going to happen or think about what has happened, but just be open to all possibilities.
You're touching something here because you're making me all glassy-eyed.
Yeah, I think
now I'm like, oh yeah.
Because I know whenever I get, if I can just return to where we are, I just feel all that stuff melting away. And I just,
Yeah. Oh. Wow. Any parting words?
No, this has been great. You know,
I'm so glad you
spent
spent time here with me. Thank you so much for doing this.
I miss you too.
I miss you too.
I'm hoping Margaret opens her session soon. I think that's going to happen, and we can get back to painting.
I hope so. All right, you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, Patricia. I see you there. I saw that there were some other people there. I think, I don't know. In any case, thank you. Thank you for being here. I hope you got some value from this, and we'll do it again
She'll post
soon.
the various links.
I'm going to post all of Bonnie's links.
Yeah,
I'm going to investigate the red dot blog stuff, and I'm going to post that too, in case some of you are interested in investigating.
And there's a link that has all galleries and museums in the United States, so you can actually go and see what artists
what the requirements
are, what sort of art they're showing, and do you fit in?
I'll post all of that. I'll get all that up there for you guys. All right. Thank you, guys. I'll see you later. Bye.